let's talk about stability, because no one wants to be in here when they wanted to stay in there. I'm going to show you 5 simple tricks to improve your balance so that you always stay in your kayak and not in the water. Trick number 1 is keep your center over your center. Good balance in a kayak is having your nose, the center of your chest, and your belly button over the center of your hips. So designers incorporate a big flat spot on the bottom of the kayak to provide what we call initial stability. So that flat spot on the bottom of the hull is your initial stability, and it's going to work to keep your kayak nice and flat. As long as you keep your weight, your nose, center of your chest, your belly button, centered over your hips or centered over your kayak, the initial stability is going to keep your kayak nice and flat. Trick number 2, don't reach. So retailers who rent kayaks tell me that 95% of the tip overs happen within 5 feet of the dock. One of the biggest reasons is people get close to the dock and they try and get there the rest of the way by reaching. And when they do that, they're going for a swim. So when I take my 18-pound bowling ball, my head, and I lean it or reach over the side of the kayak, you can see what happens. I exert a lot of leverage, a lot of force to force that kayak over on its side. So designers incorporate a nice rounded edge to the side of the kayak and volume above the waterline. So when I lean over, I actually get pushed back to flat. How well the kayak does that is what we call secondary stability. So the problem with secondary stability is when I get past a point where the kayak provides it, I'm going over and I'm going to go over fast. So when I reach over to the side of the boat, I'm pushing up against that secondary stability. And when I really reach, when I take this heavy head of mine and lean over, I'm going in quick! Woo! So the trick is, when you're close to the dock and you can't quite get there, or you dropped your hat in the water and you got to get to it, don't reach. Use your paddle strokes to bring you to your hat or to the dock or that lily pad you just got to get for your girlfriend. Keep your weight in your boat and don't reach. Trick number 3, keep your hips loose. So the trick with loose hips is that if a wave hits me from the side, I let my boat roll with my hips. If instead, I let my body roll with the hips, you can see I'm levering my boat over every time my body gets pushed over and I'm going to go for a swim. Instead, let your hips roll the kayak and keep your body straight up and down. Your secondary stability is going to push you back to flat, and your body over the kayak is going to keep you upright. Loose hips let you do that. So let me show you a simple drill that I ask people to do when they first get in their kayak. When they push away from the dock, I ask them to do the wiggle test. And all I want them to do is to wiggle their hips back and forth while keeping their body upright. This does 2 things. First, it gives them a sense of how far I can lean my kayak over to either side while keeping stability. Second, it gets me in the mindset that I'm going to have loose hips while I'm paddling, so that if a wave hits me, my hips roll and not my body and my whole kayak, and I'm going to stay upright. Trick number 4, keep your weight low. So here's what I see new paddlers do all the time. They get in their boat for a paddle, they push away from the dock, and then a light bulb goes on. They say, oh my gosh, my hips don't feel quite right in this seat. Now it's time to make an adjustment. So they take their hands, they put it on the deck of the kayak, and they wiggle their butt around until they feel comfortable. Here's the problem. Lifting your butt off the bottom of the kayak with your hands on the deck is a really bad idea. What you're really doing is you're taking your center of balance, which right now is in the bottom of the kayak on your butt on the seat, and placing it 5 or 6 inches up on top of the kayak on the deck on your hands. Can't believe how much tippier that makes your kayak all of a sudden. So don't do it. So instead, here's what you should do. Get in your kayak, and now before you leave the dock, this is the time to wiggle your butt around while you got your hands in the dock. Make sure that you're comfortable in your seat before you leave the security and safety of this nice kickstand here, your dock. Trick number 5, watch the weather. So when you're just starting out in your kayak, you really want to pay attention to weather because open water, a lot of wind, kicks up big waves, and it really makes it a challenge to balance your kayak well. You want to be in that nice calm water until you feel a little more comfortable and confident, and go out in the rough water if you have to with a friend. Know that you're going out in a little more of a challenging situation. Pay attention to the weather because that wind, the waves can really make it tough for you out there. You know, it's so much easier to paddle in water that's sheltered, so watch out for the weather. Hey, quick recap. First, keep your center over your center. Nose, chest, belly button centered over the center of your hips. Second, don't reach. Don't lean out over the boat or you might go in. Third, loose hips. Let your hips roll with the boat, not your whole body rolling with the boat. Fourth, keep your weight low. Never try and lift your butt off the bottom of the boat or you're going to get real tippy. And finally, watch out for the weather. Wind and waves are going to make your balance a lot harder to maintain out there. Find some nice calm water. My name's Terry Kent. I'll see you out in the water and hopefully not in it.